Hey, it's comedian Fortune Feimster. Check out my latest Netflix special, Crushing It. And you're listening to Jim on Base.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Base Show. For today's very special guest, we have on a comedian, actress, podcast host. She really does it all. She has a new comedy special out on Netflix called Feimster, Crushing It, and stars in the highly anticipated Disney sequel, Zootopia 2. Please welcome the great Fortune Feimster. Fortune, thanks for coming on.
That's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you on. And I know you have a lot going on in your world right now, right? You got movies coming out, you're on tour, so everything's happening.
It's pretty wild. All good stuff. I was just filming this new show I'm doing with Will Ferrell. And I play a caddy. He's a golfer, and so that's been a fun little twist to be in the golf world now.
Yeah, it's a hot thing to do right now, so it's the right time to strike.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, how's your dog Biscuit handling it all?
My dog Biggie. He's good. He's just all he cares about is when he gets food, and cuddles. And other than that, he's good to go. Nothing bothers him too much.
I imagine he's the one running the house, probably, right? It's all about him.
Oh yeah, he is the king of the castle for sure. I don't have kids, so he kind of takes the place of that and gets whatever he wants. So he is living a very nice life for sure.
Well, it makes me wonder because I love having people on that tour. So, because I'm always curious, do you take the dog with you, or how does it work?
I have taken him on tour quite a bit, but he's older now. He's
Mm.
around 11, I think. But he's a rescue, so we're not totally sure. So now that he's older, usually I don't take him on the road quite as much as I used to. It's more just chilling at home with him.
Yeah, that's the importance of getting the cuddles in.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we got to talk about your new special, Crushing It, and you can see it on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's been out for a little bit. It's my latest hour. I have 3 hours on Netflix. So you can start with that one or go back to the sweet and salty one. But yeah, all three of those are out, and then currently I'm touring with my latest hour. That's
Mm.
why I'm headed up to San Jose and Fresno with that hour of kind of where all those the my last special Crushing It, where it left off. This new hour picks up.
Yeah, it's great that you're coming up to NorCal. You're hitting San Jose, I believe the Improv, and then you're also staying in NorCal and hitting the Fresno market as well, right?
Yeah, I'm at the theaters in San Jose. I'm at the San Jose Civic Center and the Soroyan Theater in
Mm.
Fresno. Yeah, usually I'll do the comedy clubs when I'm working the material out. And just needing to figure out what I'm talking about and where the stories are going. But at this point I'm in that full tour mode. So yeah, I've been hitting up some fun theaters. Just because all my stories are like longer,
Mm.
they're just a little tougher to do in the clubs because everyone's like eating sliders and chicken wings, and I'm telling this like 8 minute stories. So I'm always grateful when I can get to the theaters.
Yeah, I've seen you. I go down to the Comedy Store and the Hall at Improv somewhat often, and I've seen you
Yeah,
in the main room at the Comedy Store. And it just kind of,
nice.
yeah, kind of made me wonder though when you have your stuff and it's ready for
Yeah,
tour. I just think it's interesting. How tight do you keep and how loose? Because as you know, you could have the same set 2 nights in a row, and it can just be
yeah.
way different depending on the vibe and the room you're in, right?
Oh, for sure. The audience makes a big difference. I mean, just in the same night, I've gone from the improv to the comedy store, and something that worked super well at the improv might not hit at the comedy store, and vice versa. You just never know. So it's the goal to just keep working that material out. Like you can kind of know, like there's something here. Like I don't want to give up on the story, but what is it that's missing that it's not working in all the rooms? So it just, the feedback is helpful because it teaches you where to work things out, where to look for the slower parts or where, people aren't connecting with it and work on it.
Well, what is your home club when you're working on it? Is it the Comedy Store or?
Yeah, usually the Comedy Store. I like Largo a lot as
Mm.
well. Just again, being that storytelling kind of comic. It's more of a theater vibe, but it's like 200 seats, so the pressure's off. And I can tell stories without the pressure of there being a punchline every
Mm.
30 seconds. It just takes time to find those things.
Speaking of other stuff going on, you also have Zootopia 2 coming out, and that comes
Yeah,
out next week, right? November 26th. So
November
it's here.
26th. Yeah, I play a beaver named Nibbles Maple Stick. And it's a big part of the movie. I did not realize that when I was filming or taping it, because you're not given a script, so
Mm.
you really have no idea, where your place is in the movie. And I went to see a screening of it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm like a main character. This is crazy. They thought it was so funny that I was unaware of this, but I really didn't know. So I've got friends, texting me because their kids are like getting Happy Meals and finding my character in the toys, and there's like merch already out with people wearing the characters on T-shirts and plush toys. We're like on the side of airplanes. It's very trippy seeing your little cute character everywhere.
Yeah, you voiced Nibbles, right? So did the character
Mhm.
selection, did it surprise you, or how did you kind of take it when you found out you were a beaver?
Well, the character was created before I was on board. So they called me up and said they wanted to meet with me at Disney, and I did not know what it was for. It was like top secret.
Mm.
And in the room, they showed me the character and what they had in mind for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a perfect fit for me. Like I have to get this part, and luckily they offered it to me. Because the character is from the kind of like the bayou type of
Mm.
area. So the southern accent lended itself to fitting in that world nicely.
My good friend Kelly, I met her at the dog park years ago,
Uh-huh.
and we realized we had the same litter mate dogs, and so we became friends through the years. And
Okay.
yeah, she's really into animals, huge fan of you, and she
Oh,
wanted me to,
nice.
yeah, she wanted me to ask, how much do animals mean to you in your life?
I mean, like I told you, I'm obsessed with my dog Biggie. I think getting him really opened up my eyes to like that love of dogs in particular. I grew up having a dog, and I loved it so much that when that dog died when I was
Mm.
12, I was like, I don't ever want a dog again. It was just like so painful.
Yeah.
And I really did adhere to that for a long time, and then we got our dog Biggie. And I fell in love with him so much
Mm.
that I was like, listen, like it sucks that we haven't figured out a way for animals, especially pets, to live longer. And that's just a pain that has to come with it when they don't, when they get older and eventually pass. But the love that you have with them is so worth it. I'm old enough to understand that now. So yeah, because of him, I'm always, there's a lot of dogs in our neighborhood, and I'm always like, oh, look at the dog or petting the dog. So I think I love a lot of animals, but I definitely have a soft spot for dogs.
And Zootopia 2 is a perfect fit, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so many animals. I think I read somewhere it was a quote. So if this is wrong, I'm paraphrasing a wrong quote, but was said one of our directors said in one scene there was 50,000 animals that appeared at some point.
Wow.
That's how detailed and big this movie is.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it. Comes out November 26th. Well, it's also a really good cast, right? You got Jason Bateman, Idris
Hmm.
Elba, Shakira, Andy Samberg. So
Yeah.
some big names there.
Yeah, they had a premiere the other night where they had a lot of the voice actors on stage, and it was packed with people. Even little cameos. These they have big stars doing like
Mm.
one line. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that was over at the El Capitan Theater, right?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I've done a lot of voiceover, but this is the first like
Mm.
really huge animated movie I'm a part of, so it definitely it just is a whole other level as far as what Disney does when they put out a big animated movie. It's hardcore and really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool because I walked outside the hotel. When I go down there, I usually stay at the Hollywood Roosevelt, and it was right
Yeah,
there, right across the street. So
yeah,
I can pretend that I was at the premiere now because I've had you on the
that's
show.
right. Absolutely.
Well, it must be pretty surreal. You mentioned working with Will Ferrell, and I don't know how much you can
Mhm.
say, but does that mean you guys get to take some swings out there, or how was the golf game?
Yeah, I mean, he's a golfer, so
Mm.
he is also playing a golfer, so he has a lot of golf time. I have never played golf other than Top Golf. So I don't really know what I'm doing, but my character luckily does not need to know much about golf. So it works out good for me, but now that I've been watching him, I kind of do want to like get out there and take some swings while we're at it.
Yeah, me too, but I just always suggest they better wear a helmet. I'm a little bit of a hazard out there.
Yeah, I don't know how good my aim will be, so I would definitely suggest they do that as well.
Well, I had to bring up another role you've had with another legend in acting and entertainment, the
Hmm.
great Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, did you get to work out
Yeah.
with him, or how did that kind of go?
Yeah, I mean, I went down to the Gold's Gym with him a couple of times. I mean, he's very chill about all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Like he's like, if you want to work out, yeah, the door is always open, but he's never like pressuring people about that. But yeah, I did 2 seasons of this Foo Bar show with him, and never thought I would be in the action world at all. So that was a treat to just like do a different kind of thing. I still got to, be funny, but just to like be a part of all these stunts and these explosions, and it was cool to like change it up. And now that I'm doing this Will show, it's back to kind of what I know, that comedy, over the top, broad sort of thing is my wheelhouse for sure. But it was a fun pivot to just do something different, and he's so cool to work with. A very motivational guy, very
Mm.
great advice and interesting takes on things. I always enjoy talking to him.
Yeah, it made me wonder when you're with someone that's known for being funny, and you're obviously
Mhm.
a comedian. Is there ever like an awkwardness or you don't want it to be too awkward, like trying to be funny to him, or like how does that kind of work?
To Will.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's so funny, and he's someone I've grown up like watching and
Mm.
admiring. So I was definitely feeling like this full circle moment was happening. He's like me though, like in everyday life, we're not like the bouncing off the wall type of comic. We're just like chill and chatting with people and just being normal. Neither one of us are trying to like out funny anyone or like be the the person that won't shut up. Like we both have a good I don't know, happy medium with the comedy. And then occasionally, we'll do some bit but in the scenes we're always making each other laugh and telling each other like, oh, try, what about this joke? Like it's very collaborative like that. So
Mm.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one. So hopefully that comes out soon. And
Yeah.
when I do have comedians on, I always love asking this question. What do you remember about your first open mic? Like, where was it? When? How did it go?
It would have been at the comedy store. I
Mm.
started with a comedy class, a stand-up class. And at the end of the class, you got to do like a 5 minute set, and it
Mm.
was up in the belly room at the comedy store. But that I didn't consider that like a true show, only because like everyone in the audience are your friends, so
Mm.
it's a very safe, like sweet environment. So once I did that, I started doing regular shows at the store. And I would sign up for the Monday nights, so what's called potluck, where
Mm.
you show up and you put your name in a bowl with like 80 other comics, and they give like 10 spots away for 2 minutes. And it's tough, because the only people that are watching a comedy show at 6 p.m. are other comics and they don't give you a lot. So it forces you to be funny quickly because you only have 2 minutes, and if no one laughs, it forces you to, get that thicker skin.
Mm.
So I definitely I think grew as a comic because I had to start out that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of nervousness and sweating and probably not being very funny, and you just try to get better in time.
Yeah. Well, do you have a go-to joke when things aren't going right on stage, or is it like a get out of jail free card, or?
No, I mean, at this point, I've been doing stand up now for 17, 18 years. You just kind of take it on the chin or point it out like, you guys aren't into this. So you just pivot. It's
Mm.
it's all pivoting into like what's next, and if none of your material is working, maybe you start talking to the audience. You just have little tricks
Mm.
as far as like how do I pivot out of what I'm doing into something else to see if another avenue works. And then if it doesn't, you just hope for your 15 minutes to be up soon.
I felt like a comedian the other night. I was in the comedy store in the original room, and you know that those stairs you can go up from the hallway?
Yeah.
They sat me right on that first one, and then
Oh, really?
Todd Barry sat right next to me, and I was like, "This is awesome." So he's one of my
Yeah.
favorites.
I mean, that's the cool thing about going to the store is that, on any given night, you can see some big comics come through and they're one after another. And I don't know if you're into stand up and you're visiting LA, I think it's a really fun way to see some of your favorite comics and then also, discover some new comics you hadn't heard of as well.
Yeah. One of my go-to getaway trips, and everyone's got to catch you this weekend in San Jose and Fresno. We're going to put a link in the bio, and I'm starting
Amazing.
something new for the first time. This is
Yeah.
the Gym on Base starting lineup segment. So, kind of
Okay.
six banger questions. We're going to bang them out and try and get to know you a little bit, basically.
Okay.
So this is the starting lineup, and the first question is, who was your first concert, and what kind of music shaped you growing up?
Oh man. First concert, New Kids on the Block.
Mm.
Because they were all the rage when I was young, and I think every girl in the world was like, "Oh my God, I love them so much." But I listened to everything based on what people in my life were listening to. My grandmother was, Nat King Cole kind of
Mm.
gal, so I had a lot of songs from that era playing, and then my parents were big into the oldies, so I knew a lot of that. My oldest brother was big into rap, so that was always playing, and then my middle brother was really into like the Nirvana kind of
Uh,
grunge era. So I had a little bit of everything, and then pop music because I was a kid. So I think that really influenced my taste now, which is all over the map. I love everything.
yeah, me too. A little well-rounded, right?
Hmm.
And the second question of the starting lineup, what do you love most about your craft that people maybe don't get to see or experience?
Oh, just the touring is hard in that it's like um just planes, trains, and automobiles constantly, but I get to meet so many people.
Mm.
I'm in the airports and the rental car shuttles and the cafes and the restaurants. So I love that as a stand-up, I get to meet the people that are watching my stuff and have a little connection with them at different parts throughout the day. And that's very meaningful because people are really kind and
Mm.
just give you a little thumbs up or keep going or thanks for doing what you do. And it means a lot.
Nice. Well, speaking of your career, what did you learn later in your career that maybe you wish you knew sooner? Any
Oh
advice you like to
gosh.
pass down?
Just how much I write. I never
Mm.
knew I would be writing this heavily, but it's so imperative as a comedian. I mean, if you don't write or don't take the time to write, it will really stand in your way
Mm.
of growing and opportunities. So I would tell myself to keep writing and to start banking material before the pressure's on.
Anything you wish you were better at? And it doesn't have to be career, it could be personal or career.
Yeah. Gosh, probably writing more. I
Mm.
would love to write more, to be a little bit more. I'm proud that I've got 3 hours out in the last 5 years.
Mm.
That it used to be comics put out an hour every 4 or 5 years. So to have three, is definitely something I never thought I could do. but keeping up with that pace requires, content material. So I wish I had a bigger well to
Mm.
draw from. I need to live life a little bit more. Maybe I work too much,
Yeah.
and then not having as many fun adventures to draw from. So a balance would be good as well.
That's a good one. And the final one, what's a moment in your career that maybe nobody asked you about, but it's something that really shaped you? I don't know if anything comes to mind.
Hmm.
Kind of a tough
Um,
one.
I mean, every couple of years I have some kind of milestone that I hit
Mm.
that's really meaningful. I, was always grateful for Chelsea lately because that got me started, and that's when I started working, and the doors and opportunities started to open up. And Mindy Project was huge because it started my acting career. And then, the getting my first half hour on Netflix
Mm.
isn't talked about very much, but that is what opened the door to, my relationship with Netflix, and then also the eventually getting my own hour. And then once I put out my first hour, it came out right before the pandemic, and that's what opened the doors to doing theaters and having a lot more people know who I was as a stand-up.
Nice.
So yeah, there's always just little moments along the way.
Well, awesome. Thanks for doing that with me. That's the Gym on Base starting lineup. You're the first person to do it, so a lot of fun.
Nice.
And the last thing we're going to do is another thing. It's the first one, the Gym on Base challenge. So, can you
Okay.
challenge me? And who should I get on base next?
Let's see. Gosh. My co-host Tom Papa, we do a
Oh,
radio show together, and he's a great comedian, funny guy, excellent writer, and loves all things comedy and baseball and all those good things. So I think you'd have a good time talking to him.
awesome. Well, we're going after him and try and get him on base. And
All
fortunate,
right.
we're going to put a link in the bio so people can pick up some tickets. And it was great to meet you, and hopefully I'll get to say
Nice to
hi in
meet
person.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate it, bud.